Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Nisi of Spoil Me Nisi, back with another video. I hope you're all doing well. So this video is pretty much my reaction to Married at First Sight season 12 reunion all together. So for like part 1 and part 2. I know that previously I did touch on it a little bit, but I only focused on Paige and Chris. So for this video, I want to touch on, my thoughts, my 2 cents on all of the couples, and now that the show is over. So if you haven't already seen the episode, it aired last night. This video, as always, will have spoilers. So let's get into it. So first I would like to start off with Brie and Vinnie. Why? Because they are my favorite couple this season. Now that the season is already over and done with, I can honestly say that Brie and Vinnie are the best. They're up there with like the best couples of like the show as a whole. So I think these two are really cute. They cease to surprise me personally. God bless these two. I think that they're going to be together for many years to come. You can tell that Brianna really loves her husband, and she works really hard to, be the wife that she needs to be for him, and she's definitely doing her best at, making whatever necessary changes to fit him into her life. And it seems like he's doing the same as well. One thing that they mentioned in the reunion that I thought was so sweet was that when all of the girls, so Virginia, Brianna, Haley, Clara, when all of them were together at Brianna and Vinny's house, Vinny just happened to be outside making s'mores, and he thought so much about his wife to not only make her a s'more, but wrap it up in this, nicely in a piece of paper and bring it upstairs for her so that she has s'mores. I thought that was so sweet. Vinny got some cool points, and Brianna got herself a keeper. So yeah, they're my favorite couple as a whole. I know they'll probably be on like Couples Cam and all those other spin-off shows where they follow around like the old couples that were on the shows, but I do look forward to seeing Vinny and Vincent, in their life together. So next we have Ryan and Clara. Another cute couple, God bless their union. I hope they stay together for a very long time. I hope they're, doing all the things that couples do together. I hope she's happy. I hope he's happy. I don't really have much to say about them. It was pretty boring. But one thing I thought was interesting about Ryan is that Vinny mentioned that in their little, guys, in their little like bro friend, their bro love group between all the husbands, Vinny said that Ryan is, I guess, the life of the party. I guess he's the one that's turned up, and I'm kind of not buying it. That kind of made me chuckle a little bit. Not really buying it, but hey, I think that Ryan is certainly full of surprises, and I don't get a bad vibe from him. I feel like he's full of good surprises. So yeah, I'm very hopeful for their marriage, and also the friendship that the guys have together. I think that's pretty nice that the guys and the women became friends. Hopefully they're lifelong friends. So next we have Virginia and Eric. Again, these two, if you've watched like my previous videos, I've kind of been up and down with these two. I started out not liking them, then I started liking them, then I started not liking them together, and then I started liking them again once I saw the Decision Day video. I think Eric is a pretty stand-up guy, but their relationship, I don't know. It still seems like kind of weird, these two. And one thing that makes them seem a little weird for me is that at the reunion, Virginia was asked if she had to choose between her dog and Eric, who would she choose? And she, without a doubt, said she would choose her dog. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I get it. Your dog is like a child. But in the end, your dog is a dog. It's not a human being. And it's ultimately not your child. It is a pet. So I thought that was a little bit weird. I'm surprised that, considering Eric's temperament, I'm surprised that he took her answer as well as he did. So yeah, those two definitely give me a little bit of pause, but I do hope the best for them, and I hope that they're blessed, and I hope they're together for years to come. So I pretty much saved the worst for last because I do have a little bit more to say about these two couples. I equally dislike both Chris and Paige and Haley and Jacob. What I will say is that I do feel for Jacob and Paige. By the end of last night's, final reunion episode, I just wanted to give both Paige and Jacob a hug. It kind of seems like, the show was over now, and it seems like everyone is happy, and Paige and Jacob both seem like the show just kind of left them broken. It's nice to see that they're picking up they're picking up the pieces and they're, moving on with their lives. But Paige dealt with a lot of psychological abuse, and in my opinion, she did deal with some sexual abuse, because I think that she was, even though she didn't stop it, in a sense, she was kind of being used. And I think that Jacob was kind of being used too, and I noticed some double standards we have going on the show. So, first things first with these two is Kevin. He royally got on my nerves in the last episode of the reunion. First of all, he made a lot of shady comments in the first part of the reunion, and he definitely made a lot of shady comments in the last episode of the reunion. Now, you can tell that when he met with Paige and Chris, he was ready to just dig into Chris, but Chris just isn't having it. And I noticed that Kevin did tread very lightly with Chris, and he did watch his words. But I noticed that when Kevin spoke to Haley and Jacob, somehow he was very hard on Jacob. And I thought that was very confusing. That was very confusing to me, because it's like, Kevin, what show are you watching? He almost made it seem like it was Jacob's fault that he and Haley didn't work out. Haley said that Jacob didn't try. He just didn't try. Like, she kept saying stuff like that. And it's just like, really? Because the show that I was watching, he certainly was trying, and she certainly did not like him. So I didn't like that Kevin was like, so like Kevin almost seemed like he was harder on Jacob than what he was on Chris. And I definitely had a problem with that. I'm not a big fan of Kevin. And yeah, I thought that was really weird. But one thing that I thought is interesting that a lot of people aren't noticing is that, everyone, including me, didn't like the fact that, Chris knew that he wasn't attracted to Paige from day one, but yet he still laid with her and made her pretty much feel bad about herself. But Haley did the same thing to Jacob. She knew she didn't like him. Her energy towards him was sour from jump. And she still slept with him, and then afterwards treated him like crap. Now she might not have done things as tacky as Chris by like not moving in with Paige and all that stuff. I mean, Haley, didn't do things exactly as bad, as Chris did, but she was still pretty bad to Jacob. She was, I think that Haley might have been, on her way to being almost just as bad as Chris, and that's just me, just being 100% honest. I haven't said, I haven't had much criticism for Haley the whole show, because ultimately there are parts of Haley's personality that I like, but when you really look at how she's made Jacob feel in the show, she's nobody to talk about Chris. In fact, when they talk about Chris, Haley should be quiet. Because she's not much better. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that she's just as bad? I think she's just as bad. I think that sometimes when we see women going through traumatic experiences and we see men going through traumatic experiences, we tend to sympathize more with the female that's going through it and not sympathize with the guy at all. But in the end, men have feelings too. And just like Paige left the show, feeling broken and, seeming like she wasn't in a good place, mentally and spiritually, just trying to pick up the pieces, I got that same energy from Jacob as well. So yeah, that's just something that I picked up. Another thing that I picked up is, when all the couples were sitting together, you know, I didn't like how Paige was just sitting there by herself. You know, being that Chris wasn't going to be there, I don't think that Paige should have had to sit through that with everybody else as well. Because I think it was awkward, you know, all the other couples sitting together, even Jacob and Haley kind of sitting together, you know, and Paige is just sitting there by herself. You know, I don't know, I just didn't like it. But, you know, it just is what it is. So in the end, you know, my conclusion to how I feel about Married at First Sight season 12, I liked everybody else on the season, even Chris. I liked everybody else, but my least favorite people on the season is Haley, who cries when she gets to a point where she has to be held accountable for her actions. She cries and just does not take self accountability for any of the stuff that she does, and just points the finger at Jacob. You know, I don't like that about her. And yeah, lastly, Chris was awful. Yeah, you know, I do try to, you know, sympathize and definitely see things from Chris's point of view, and I haven't been with the whole Chris hate train. You know, I've definitely tried in all of my videos to not be on the Chris hate train and try to see things from his point of view as well. You know, but in the end, Paige defended him even though he disrespected her all season. She defended him and didn't leave his side the whole time, and he's left her side every time, all the way up until the very end when he left her, you know, at the end of the rope, all alone. And, you know, that just rubbed me the wrong way. So that's what I feel about Married at First Sight season 12, the reunion. They did reveal that another season is starting up very soon, and I cannot wait for that because Married at First Sight is my jam. So I can't wait for the next season. So make sure, if you haven't already done so, that you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button so that you will know when I make videos. And make sure you like this video and share this video. Until next time, peace.